Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Mac here from Cryptstar Staking, your #1 source of crypto DeFi news on the tube. And I know it's been a while since I made a video for you guys, but I am really excited for today's video. It is going to be a comparison video between SUI and Aleph Zero, and we'll have a little bit of Aptos here in the mix. However, personally, I don't like Aptos for certain reasons, so I'll kind of explain those reasons in this video today, and then we're going to mostly focus on SUI and Aleph Zero from that point on. Alright, so I'm super stoked. I got a lot of information for you guys. I'm going to try and pack it into 10 minutes so that way you guys can get all the information you need to make an informed investor decision. Yeah, of course, what I'm saying is not financial advice. Only financial advice. Is not financial advice. So take whatever I have to say with a grain of salt. Make sure you do your own research. But most importantly, have fun and get into the community and figure out which project is best for you. Or go ahead and diversify your portfolio and get into both projects. Anyways, before we get started, let's go ahead and smash that like button and that subscribe button below. And let's go ahead and jump right into today's video. So to start off the video today, we're going to talk briefly about the sort of general data regarding the three blockchains and their size of the blockchains themselves. So a lot of people look at price, but as we all know, if you've been in crypto for a while or investments in general, price doesn't necessarily matter. What really matters is the market cap, because the larger the market cap, as long as you take inflation into account, the larger the market cap, the better the price will be. And it's much easier to gauge the growth of a blockchain based on the market cap compared to its price. So a lot of people think it's price that matters, but actually it's market cap. So you can see here we have SUI at a market cap of 550 million, Aleph Zero at a market cap of 266 million, and Aptos at a market cap of 1.7-67 billion. And you can see as the gainer of the day is Aleph Zero, it looks like. And I'll go ahead and talk to you guys why I think that it's going to be doing very well in the next coming weeks. The Aptos and SUI, now just so you guys know, they both actually originated from the Facebook blockchain Libra. So they're very, very similar projects, except for the fact that SUI did take a lot of the main development from Mexc Labs. And we'll go into Sam Blackshear. He is the developer behind the whole smart contracting programming language that both Aptos and SUI are based off of. So if you want to go with the sort of core development team of the Move programming language, then it's definitely best to go ahead and stick with SUI. And as you can see here, the market cap is actually 550 million, which is 1/3 of that of Aptos. So it's quite likely that SUI is going to do probably better than Aptos in the future. However, just so you guys know, Aptos does have a very much larger ecosystem right now. So they have an ecosystem, I think, of about, it's like 25, 30 dApps. And SUI, they only have about 6 to 8 dApps right now. And Aleph Zero, they also have about 8 to 10 dApps, I want to say. But the TVL is much lower in Aleph Zero. I couldn't get the data for that because it's on DeFi Llama for the rest of these. I think SUI's at like 26 million or something, or 18 million. Sorry, actually, I do have the data for that, so I can take a look here. SUI is right now at 19 million, and I think Aptos is somewhere around 30 million. Aleph Zero, right now, they do have Panorama Swap and Andromeda Swap launched, but both don't have really great TVL, and they're still in the production phase, but well, sort of development phase, but they do have an app launched on mainnet. So a lot of people are waiting for the common Fi DEX to be launched on Aleph Zero, I think, which is why a lot of liquidity has not moved into DeFi on Aleph Zero yet. Now let's go ahead and talk about SUI and the programming language behind it, which is the SUI Move programming language, and that was developed by Sam Blackshear and Mexc Labs. So they created the Move programming language, which is one reason I'm not focusing on Aptos, because sort of the main developers and everything are actually behind SUI. So they've actually taken the programming language that they originally created and made it better, and now that's on SUI. So the end product is already better for SUI. So we did do a testnet build for Aptos, and I'm my validator node on Aleph Zero, and I just didn't like the developer or the validator node experience on Aptos. There was a lot of errors and stuff during the test environment, whereas Aleph Zero was a lot smoother, and I felt like the communication from the core team was a lot better. So yes, the programming language for SUI, like I said, is Move. And Move it seems like a very good programming language. It's based on Rust, very similar to Aleph Zero's Substrate. It was also developed in 2018, similarly to Aleph Zero and the Substrate Inc. 4.0. One thing to note about the two is that Aleph Zero does tend to have, Inc. 4.0 is used by multiple blockchains, whereas SUI is the only one currently using SUI Move. However, the Move contracting language that it's based on is actually built with Aptos as well, but like I said, these are the only two blockchains that are using it, so I feel like there's going to be a lot more sort of debugging and stuff like that going on with the Ink programming language, which was what Aleph Zero focuses on. Now, both are supposed to be designed to be interoperable with Ethereum, so that's not really a big target for me. Another big thing about Aleph Zero is that it's focusing on privacy enhancement, and SUI is not really focused so much on that. They do have other cool things about SUI. I think the TPS for SUI, which is the transactions per second, is about, they claim 120,000, and you can run it on a MacBook. So they're kind of targeting all sorts of users. Whereas Aleph Zero, you can build it on a MacBook, Docker-wise. You can put it on a Docker container and run it on a MacBook, but they both have about 100,000. SUI, I mean, honestly, it's kind of, they're both in test environments, so you can't really say what the production value of this is. But I would say they're about equal on the transaction speed and the finality. But I would say privacy layer wise and growth potential wise, Aleph Zero is a much bigger potential. One thing SUI does have going for it is it has the famous developers from Facebook behind it. However, Aleph Zero does have some really cool game developers as well as some very smart people at the head of the team, and they have a really large marketing team, and it's very much based in Europe, so I think it has a more global view than SUI does, but SUI does have that really cool American background. So these are two different sorts of target groups. I think for Aleph Zero doing a 2x and catching up to SUI, it's much more likely than for SUI to go ahead and make a 3x and catch up to Aptos, depending on the progress of the blockchains. But let's go ahead and jump into some more data here regarding Aleph Zero. So let's go into the investment rounds, which is a really big thing you want to look at when you're looking at a project. You can see there was a lot of really big investors in Aleph Zero here. You have Skynet Trading, Black Dragon Capital, and they all invested in the seed round. Now, one thing you do not notice here is that FTX did not invest in Aleph Zero, so there was no losses by the team with regards to the FTX scandal. However, if you look at SUI as well as Aptos, they were both funded very much by FTX. However, SUI did come out and they did state here, you can see, that they're going to go ahead and buy back the shares from FTX with their own money. So that's actually very positive for SUI, which is another reason why I wouldn't go with Aptos over SUI, because Aptos did not do a similar buyback scenario. Basically, SUI is trying to cut off all connections with FTX, which is really cool from my opinion. Let's go ahead and take a look at Parodies Inc., which is what Aleph Zero is based on. Like I said, it is a programming language based on it is a smart contract language based on Rust, which is very similar to SUI's Move. Okay, and they're doing a very good job on GitHub. They have over 1,000 stars. They're working very hard, and I would say that SUI Move is also doing a very similar good job on GitHub. So there's not a huge difference there, but I would say that more projects are building right now on Ink and Substrate over the SUI blockchain right now, because there's a lot of projects right now building on Substrate. Okay, let's go ahead and jump on to the next bits and pieces here. Another big thing that I think you should know is that SUI's blockchain is permissioned validators. So I didn't see any data here, but I do know there's a sign up page to become a validator. Oh, here it is. So there's a SUI validator application page. So anybody on Aleph Zero can become a validator, which makes it in the long run more decentralized. They do a sort of punishment system on there. So if you're a bad actor and you don't validate transactions 70% of the time or something, then you end up losing your rights as a validator. However, with SUI, basically I think during the testing phase, they ended up giving out like an airdrop to like the best validators. And with Aleph Zero, they kind of gave out one to all the validators, but I don't think any validator was doing necessarily a bad job. They basically gave you an airdrop for every day of uptimes, which is called an era, right? So you got a airdrop for every day that you had uptime for your validator node on the testnet, and SUI did kind of a similar thing. So I'd say Aleph Zero and SUI both have very, very similar, I would say, tokenomics. They didn't do a crazy airdrop, which is what caused so much issues with Aptos. Aptos did manage to launch faster than SUI, so I think that was a very big bonus for Aptos. It had the early mover advantage over SUI. I think even just a couple months that it had, it really let it gain a lot more market cap and took a lot of the sort of Libra fanatics, a lot of the Libra fans, that's Facebook Libra, and they basically were able to take them, Meta, and they were basically able to take them and kind of convert them over to the Aptos ecosystem. All right. So again, you guys can take a look at DApp Radar for a lot of the stuff for SUI because it's had a really big market cap and they had a lot of VC investment. They were able to get on a lot more sort of different types of ranking websites such as DApp Radar, CoinGecko, and as well as DeFi Llama, so you can take a look at the total TVL and everything. However, I would say that currently right now the dApps on Aleph Zero are a little bit more progressed, especially the NFT marketplace, Art Zero. So NFT wise, I would say right now that Aleph Zero definitely has the lead in regards to quality. However, I would say adoption wise, Aptos takes the lead out of all three, because you can see the market cap kind of leads everything. They do have a $1.6 billion market cap, which has kind of been going down quite a bit recently, but I think they were at like 3 or 4 billion before. And Aleph Zero's remain pretty stable at $266 to $310 million, but I think it'll grow here in the future as we get closer to the Common Fi launch. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. I tried to keep it really short for you guys. As you can see, SUI and Aleph Zero, very sort of close competitors, I would say, in a way. SUI is based in, the USA. Aptos is more European based. Aleph Zero is more European based. Aleph Zero also has a focus on privacy, and it's also a DAG. So what a DAG is a direct acyclical graph, and I really suck at pronouncing that. But basically it means that they can do different transactions in parallel with each other, whereas SUI is also doing something similar to that, but with using the traditional blockchain style. So it's not using, I would say DAG is a little bit more new tech, and also they're using Inc 4.0, which from what I've heard, it's a really great developer experience, and it's built on Rust. SUI is also built on Rust. So I think if I were you, if you were looking for really good growth potential, like I said, if Aleph Zero does a 2x, it'll be the same market cap as SUI, which I think would put it at a fair value market cap. Personally, I believe Aptos is a little bit too high of a market cap right now for me, especially for the amount of things that are being developed on it, or I should say, for the amount of TVL and everything on top of it. I think 500 million would make more sense to me, but it is at 1.7 billion, which comes partly because of the Facebook hype, and the Libra hype has a lot of the developers from there. However, Aleph Zero, they do have Darkerverse being built, which has the Witcher 3, really famous game designer, is actually doing one of their main project, Darkerverse, on Aleph Zero, which is very exciting for me. Plus, they'll have a cross-exchange DEX Common Fi, which is being built on Aleph Zero as well. And this will allow privacy features, which means that bigger institutions can go ahead and launch their products on Aleph Zero while maintaining their clients' confidentiality and privacy. So that's a really big thing that I haven't seen yet in the DeFi world, and I'm really excited. Please let me know what your guys' favorite project is. Would you guys go with SUI? Would you guys go with Aleph Zero? Or if you guys had to, kind of mix up the bags a bit, would you go 80% SUI, 20% Aleph Zero? What would your allocation ratio for each project based on their current market cap, as well as their team and everything else involved? Thank you guys for viewing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Peace out.